A Christ figure, also known as a Christ image, is a literary technique that the author uses to draw allusions between their characters and the biblical Jesus. More loosely, the Christ figure is a spiritual or prophetic character who parallels Jesus or other spiritual or prophetic figures. In general, a character should display more than one correspondence with the story of Jesus Christ as depicted in the Bible. For instance, the character might display one or more of the following traits: performance of miracles, manifestation of divine qualities, healing others, displaying kindness and forgiveness, fighting for justice, being guided by the spirit of the character's father, and the character's own death and resurrection. Christ figures are often martyrs, sacrificing themselves for causes larger than themselves. In postmodern literature, the resurrection theme is often abandoned, leaving us with the image of a martyr sacrificing himself for a greater good. It is common to see Christ figures displayed in a manner suggestive of crucifixion as well. Stage, television and film. Babette in Babette's Feast. She gives entirely of her lottery winnings for the sake of a poor puritanical community. James Cole in 12 Monkeys. In Hair, the character of Claude becomes a classic Christ figure at various points in the script. In Act 1, Claude enters, saying, "I am the Son of God. I shall vanish and be forgotten," then gives benediction to the tribe and the audience. Claude suffers from indecision, and, in his Gethsemane at the end of Act 1, he asks, "Where do I go?" There are various textual allusions to Claude being on a cross, and, in the end, he is chosen to give his life for the others. Klaatu from the day the earth stood still comes down from the heavens in a flying saucer, takes the name Carpenter to walk incognito among the people, and is persecuted and killed. However, he resurrects back to life, gives a stern benediction to the people of the earth, and then ascends back to the heavens. Neo in the Matrix trilogy. Although the film series makes many visual and textual references to various religions, many Christ figure parallels exist. He is repeatedly called the One. In a messianic sense, Neo saves various people. He suffers and dies. He rises from the dead and, at the end of the first film, ascends into the sky. Neo is also an anagram of One. Superman in Superman, the movie, and Superman Returns. Both Superman and Jesus have been sent to Earth by the fathers. Both films chronicle the beginning of Superman's story, and included the famous quote, "They can be a great people, Kal-El. They wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way. For this reason, above all, the capacity for good, I have sent them you, my only son." In the first movie, Kal-El is sent to retire for 12 years to be educated in spirit by his father to be Earth's savior. At the end of the film, he made Lois Lane rise from death. In Returns, Superman tells Lois, "You wrote that the world doesn't need a savior, but every day I hear people crying for one." Later in the film, Superman is stabbed in the side as Jesus was believed to have been during the crucifixion, after casting the crystal continent into space. The fatigued Superman falls to Earth in a pose almost identical to that of a man being crucified. Superman wakes from coma in what seems the third day, mirroring Jesus' awakening on the third day after crucifixion. John Connor in The Terminator as Mankind leader against the machines, and T-800 in Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Sent to protect John and Sarah Connor, sacrificing itself for the human race after defeating the devious D-1000, Spock in Star Trek II. The Wrath of Khan exposes himself to a lethal amount of radiation in order to save the crew of the Enterprise, and is later resurrected. Ellen Ripley in the Alien film series has been seen as a Christ figure, both in the way that she serves as a personal savior to Newt in Aliens and in the matter that sacrifice sacrifices her own life in Alien 3 so the alien cannot exist anymore. Others have noted that she dies in an act of self-sacrifice, yet similarly to Jesus, she returns in another form in the aptly titled Alien Resurrection. Jeremy Reed in Powder, Lucas Jackson in Cool Hand Luke, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, the Doctor in Doctor Who, dying in martyrdom and resurrecting from time to save many worlds. Alex J. Murphy in the RoboCop films and other media, a policeman dead as martyr in the line of duty resurrected to be a righteous champion and protector following faithfully his 3 commandments: serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law. Chris Keller in All My Sons, the son of Joe Keller, who was the symbol of Christ in the play. He makes people want to be better than it's possible to be. King Leonidas I in the 2007 historical fantasy film 300, adapted from the graphic novel 300 by Frank Miller. At the end of the film, Leonidas, along with the rest of his 300 Spartans, stay behind to defend a narrow pass against the vastly more numerable Persian foe. Despite suffering a gruesome death to arrow fire, Leonidas' death gives the rest of Sparta time to mobilize an army to defeat the Persian Empire. The final shots of the film show Leonidas' body laying in a crucifix-like pose, pierced in the side and hands by arrows. Comics and animation. In comic books, as in all other media, Superman saves the people from dangers they cannot overcome on their own. The House of El echoes the Hebrew expression for God, El. He even had to resurrect once to keep watching over Earth. Nausicaa, the protagonist of Hayao Miyazaki's manga Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind and its film adaptation, is the humane and peace-loving warrior princess of the Valley of the Wind, a small post-apocalyptic society in a world dominated by large, powerful insects who reside in the Sea of Corruption. Fueled by her love for others and for life itself, Nausicaa attempts to restore the balance of life among other human tribes and the insects, often making numerous sacrifices to do so. Although her character was intended to be viewed in the context of animistic philosophies by Miyazaki, she is often interpreted, especially in regards to Disney's English dub, as a Christ figure. Kamuishiro in the manga series 10. The story takes place at the end of days. Kamuishiro returns home to Tokyo after a 6-year absence to face his destiny as the one who will determine humanity's fate. The construction of Kamui as a messiah is reinforced by his miraculous birth and given name. Kamui, like Christ, doubles as a title that alludes to the character's divine nature. Kikyo, in Inuyasha, is a Christ figure able to perform miracles. Resurrected, she eventually gives up on her love for the main character and dies for the cause, which allows the other characters to eliminate the antagonist. See Inuyasha: The Final Act Among the Twinkling Stars, Episode 8. Seamless, in the webcomic Homestuck, is a Christ figure who is born with no clear parents, has controversial ideas about how people should be treated, is eventually tortured, crucified by the tyrannical government. His handcuffs become a secret symbol for his followers, like the cross of Christianity. One of his most prominent followers is named the Disciple.